So this is the practical application post for my episode titled Embodiment, Living Completely with Ronnie Rodriguez. A couple of my big takeaways. So we centered the conversation around movement philosophy. Why would we talk about your movement philosophy? Because your philosophy is pretty much your belief system, or will dictate your belief system, and your belief system will dictate your behaviors. And that's pretty much what you eat, who you decide to hang out with, how you decide to move your body. All of these things are going to be impacted by your philosophy and your belief system. So we use physical literacy to help center the conversation. And physical literacy has 3 philosophical underpinnings. 1, monism. 2, existentialism. And 3, phenomenology. I'll briefly go over them, and then I'll explain why they're important. So 1, monism. Monism is pretty much saying that your mind and your body are interconnected. They're wired together. It's funny how these things kind of start as a philosophy, but nowadays, or a thought, but now I would say it's rooted in science. Your mind and your body are literally wired together. There are hormones, there are neurotransmitters that communicate back and forth. If we took you apart, it would be hard to differentiate where the body begins and the mind separates, and where there's this actual separation between the two. Nowadays, there's so many examples of this as well. Let's say you're feeling anxious right now. If you go for a walk, it'll help to decrease your anxiety a bit. People that don't move enough might feel more anxiety. Walking helps to increase creativity. People that involve their body when they learn, it helps them to retain the information better. There's so many examples of how what's going on in your brain, what you're thinking and what you're feeling is impacting your body, and it's happening in both directions. Now, why is this important? So understanding that the mind and body is one complete system helps you to understand the value of prioritizing the body, and hopefully in your day-to-day life you take more opportunities to involve your body. So when you're sitting down with your colleagues, instead of brainstorming at the desk, you might make the suggestion to say, hey, let's go for a walk while we do this. Maybe you put on your headset and you take the call on a walk. Maybe, the classic taking the stairs and the escalator, you decide to take the stairs instead. But hopefully understanding monism helps you to value and then actually prioritize movement in your life. Number 2, existentialism. What I took away from that, what Ronnie was saying, is pretty much that you are a product of your environment, and we have the ability to change our environment. If you believe that your life is just an unfolding of events and everything is just destiny, you might not be willing to go out there and try to make changes. But if you believe that you can take the wheel and that you can actually pave the road and you can create your destiny, you'll be more willing to do that. I do believe that there is a little bit of both, right? There's going to be things that are outside of our control, and there's going to be things that are within our control. But there is no doubt that you can change your environment and make yourself better. The other piece to talk about with environment that we discussed was the importance of praise, especially for a beginner. So finding environments that are uplifting and super supportive. A number to give you that's also rooted in science, but it takes about 20 hours of practice before you can start to feel like you're getting better at a new activity. So that probably means the first 20 hours is going to be pretty hard. And especially for a beginner, you're going to be super vulnerable. So it's important to really find places that people are uplifting you and encouraging you and kind of like your cheerleader a bit. The last big piece, number 3, phenomenology. And phenomenology is saying that no two people experience the world the same way. So you and I can be sitting right next to each other, looking at the same exact thing, but seeing 2 different things. Or maybe how you're perceiving it is in 2 different ways. And maybe, for example, I didn't eat lunch and you did. And that is making me see this a little differently. Maybe, for example, I'm in a martial arts school right now. Maybe you have bad experiences with martial arts and you're kind of a little anxious in this space. And in here I'm pretty relaxed and comfortable and I can see more of it. But based on your history, based on how you're wired, based on what you did yesterday and today, all these things are going to shape, how you're showing up in this space. And why is that important? Because in your movement practice, that makes me think about the importance of individuality. No two people have to get fit the same way. You might have movement trauma in a certain realm, and you might not want to do a certain thing. You just might be more fit for something. Maybe you like dancing or outdoor pursuits or, running or whatever it might be. You might gravitate towards certain stuff. I know the fitness industry tries to, make it like there's a one size fits all. Everybody has to run on the treadmill. Everybody has to, do X, Y, and Z, but it's not exactly that way. You can take this individualistic approach. You can try different types of movement. I'm in the process of creating something on my website called exercise dating. You kind of date around with different movement until you find one that's a good fit for you. But you want to find a good fit based on your history, based on how you're wired, all of these things, when you're creating your movement practice. So those were a couple of my big takeaways. Let me tell you, Ronnie is really, he's well-spoken. He's got so many gems in there that inspire me. I probably posted more. Usually I post people for about a week. I post them for 2 weeks just because there were so many gems I didn't want to not drop. But so check out the episode, and I hope you enjoyed this one as well, and I catch you soon.